to whisper about things like sexual health and addiction. But we'll discuss both topics loud and clear today. Welcome to CAN Community Health. I'm Alex Redmond. A new group intervention program called PHASE helps people actively using or in recovery at high risk of HIV, hepatitis C, or other STDs. Joining us is Marcus Cineris. He is a prevention specialist of CAN Community Health, and Rachel Conville of Learn to Fish Recovery for Women. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so you guys have a great opportunity today to share this brand new program that you've launched. And of course, Marcus, you launched this on behalf of CAN to work in collaboration with other organizations. A little breakdown. What is PHASE?
Okay, so PHASE is Preventing HIV and Substance Abuse Education. It is a group program which targets people who are at risk, people who are actively using, or people who are basically just in substance abuse.
All right, now you're working with Rachel and a group of women that are benefiting from Learn to Fish. Tell us a little bit about Learn to Fish and how you guys are working together.
So Learn to Fish is a faith-based recovery program for women and women with children. We have worked with CAN in the past and before I was around, and Marcus just called me up one day and introduced his program, and we thought it would be a great tool for the women, and we started the group. There was a first group of graduates that went through his program, and they did great.
And who is the program for, though? Because you're obviously working with a group of women for Learn to Fish Recovery for Women, but is it for men as well, or kids if they wanted to do this?
No kids, but it is for men and women. And right now we just started our new PHASE program, which started August 7th. It runs every other Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. And yeah, it's open for men and women, and they've already discussed how grateful they are to be in the group.
Can you give us a little breakdown about how the program works? So say somebody is coming into the program and they've never done it before, it's their first time. Okay. What would they expect, like day one? What's going to happen?
So day one is basically the introduction. They get a, it's a consent form. It's just basically their commitment to the program and their participation during the group. After that, I sit down myself within the group and I talk a little bit about my past, because I have 24 years experience of using substances as well, and I've been in recovery for 24 years. My drug addiction lasted for 15 years in the streets of New York City. And,
well, since we're touching on that now, let's go ahead and talk about that. Why don't you, because a lot of people out there who haven't had a problem with addiction, for them it's very difficult to understand, you know, how easy it may be for somebody to become addicted to something. So how did it, for you, how did it start? Let's hear your story.
Well, for me it started when I was, unfortunately, when I was 12 years old. And there was a lot of underlying issues going on with the family and also myself. And, you know, I just started hanging out with the wrong people, the wrong crowd. But in the early 80s, back in the days, it was more like, oh, I want to be like that kid who had, you know, the nice clothes, the nice sneakers, because we were so unfortunate to have it ourselves. But then along came, you know, the drugs with it. So for me, it was an excitement because I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. However, to me, just the excitement of me being able to deal drugs, being able to hang around with that crowd was so cool to me. But then, you know, after a while, after I started getting more and more addicted to the drugs, now it didn't even become, it wasn't exciting anymore. It became such a struggle just to be able to support my habit and the things that I've done, you know, robbing, stealing, you know, breaking into cars. I mean, you name it, I've done it, you know, and it's unfortunate that I've had to resort to those incidents in order to support my habit. you know, but that's part of the addiction cycle.
But you haven't participated in recreational drugs for how long now? I mean, how long has it been?
It's been 24 years. It's been
That's
24
amazing.
years in recovery
Congratulations.
and, you know, pushing through. And I just made a decision. I made a decision when I went to prison. I went for prison I was sentenced to 10 years. I did 6 years in prison, and I did 4 years out of prison, which was I was on parole. And while I was in prison, I took advantage of this program called the SHOCK program, and it's everything that the military is without the guns. In there, I learned my discipline, and it was so amazing to me, but it only lasted 6 months, so I was back into prison to continue my sentence up until my 6 years was up. I came home November of 1998, and I paroled to New York City to my mother's house, and from there, parole, you know, they have stipulations where you have to do an outpatient program. And again, it was only a 1 year, but I re-signed myself up 3 years later. So I did 3 years instead of 1. And I finally did it. And you know what? And it feels so good, and it feels amazing to me. You know, it's like a rewarding feeling being able to give back to the community, you know?
Do you think that, well, you've participated in Marcus's program that he created by watching the women go through this. But do you think because of Marcus's experience with having participated in drugs and going to prison, that he is better able to relate to the women and even caution them, the ones that have not, you know, been to prison yet, about this is how you will stay out of it, and motivated them better?
Yes, definitely. I am a recovering addict myself, and I can speak for most of us. It's very hard for us to trust people right away, especially just getting into recovery and learning how to live a different lifestyle. So we can relate more to others who have done some of the same things. We can relate to the same feelings.
Correct.
And that's a huge part of it.
Do you think that a lot of people don't realize that it takes one time, if you have an addictive personality, to try something and then you like it, and then you're constantly trying to achieve that feeling again and again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know for me, when I first tried cocaine, I mean, for me at first, it was a little scary, but I still wanted to do it. You know what I mean? And then after I did it, and I was like, okay, I got over the initial, you know, the first bag of cocaine that I did, and I saw that I survived it, and there was nothing really much to it at that time, and I just continued to do it. But of course, you're always left with trying to chase that same feeling the first time you tried it. It's never the same feeling over and over and over again. So that's what you're chasing.
And of course, for women that are interested in coming into your program, Rachel, we're going to go ahead and give them some information, and they can go ahead and they can go to the website. So they can go to Learn to Fish, which is ltfrecovery.org. Again, if you'd like information on Learn to Fish recovery for women, you go to ltfrecovery.org. All right, so Marcus, at Can Community Health, how do you plan on getting this program out there for more people, your FACE program?
We're reaching out to other agencies as well, just like I reached out to Rachel from Learn to Fish. However, it is in the process right now. We're going to the jail. We're first starting off at the Sarasota jail, and hopefully we hope to make it to basically all the ports throughout the county.
I think we need to perhaps enlighten people to remove some of the stigma about people that have gone to jail, because it's really important. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, and sometimes good people do naughty things. And one of the experiences that I had, just to let you guys know, is I actually taught fitness at Rikers Island in the women's maximum security.
Oh, wow.
And I did that because I hired an inmate when I was a manager in New York, and she was fantastic. Her name was Chanel Kennedy, and she said she wanted to give back to the women, kind of like you, Rachel, would Learn to Fish recovery. She wanted to give back, and all she wanted was an opportunity. She said, no one's going to hire me, and I said, I'll hire you. I thought she was fantastic. She taught hip-hop aerobics, and so we went out there, and it was great. We had a great time. We wish that they would have adopted the program ongoing, but we were treated incredibly well by the inmates. We were treated well by the guards. And I could see a lot of those girls coming out and, you know, getting it together. It happens. Life is a journey, and it's hard to damn somebody for making a poor choice. But anyways, when we come back from the break, you'll be speaking with Marcus Senares and Rachel Conville of Learn to Fish Recovery for Women. We're going to go ahead and take a little break, and you'll also see some pictures, because after all, a picture says 1,000 words. So you'll see some of Marcus's artwork and the women that created it in the FAZE program. We'll be right back. Florida is #1 for beaches.
The Sunshine State also leads the nation for new HIV cases.
The opioid epidemic makes the fight against HIV and hepatitis C more challenging.
Minorities, women, young people,
And seniors are most affected by HIV.
But you can get tested.
You can get diagnosed.
And you can get treated.
CAN offers hope.
For information, call or visit us online.
Seniors, this one's for you. I'm Bob Trissolini. We don't talk about it, but seniors are at a high risk for HIV, hepatitis C, and other sexually transmitted diseases. You know that little blue pill that kind of puts us in the mood? Well, sometimes we don't practice safe sex. Many are walking around with HIV and Hep C and don't even know it. So protect yourself. You can get tested, you can get diagnosed, and you can be treated.
CAN Community Health. Welcome back. CAN Community Health's Marcus Senares created the FAZE program, and the first group of women from Learn to Fish Recovery for Women have successfully graduated FAZE. You'll get to see their creations depicting their individual journeys a little later in the show. But now we're going to talk to Marcus about how art is a part of the FAZE program and how art helped you with your journey of recovery from addiction.
Correct. Well, I started one day just drawing what my life was like during my addiction and what it looked like. So I took a piece of paper and I just started from when I was born, everything that trickled up to the first time that I started using drugs and what I had envisioned my life and what it is now towards the ending of the drawing. And I showed it up at one of the sessions for the women. And they were all inspired, and they all asked, oh, we would like to draw something like that. And I was like, perfect. So the next time we met, I brought in the canvases and the colored markers, and I just showed them what needed to happen and how do they see themselves, through looking at their life through art, and how it impacts them by looking at it, and then just to write basically what has changed for them from what they drew on the picture.
And of course, Rachel, you are the manager of Learn to Fish Recovery for Women in Bradenton, and you guys have partnered up with CAN Community Health for this first group of people to go through the FAZE program. Did you also participate, though? You told us a little bit of your story, that you also are in recovery. And did you also participate in the art part of the program?
I did not.
You did not, but you got to watch it. What did you see the women go through from the beginning of the program to the end? What kind of transitions did you see for some of the women?
It was very enlightening. The artwork, when the women were finished with it and I saw the completed drawings, it was very real. There was goals and dreams, and then there was the raw reality of their lives and the problems that they had faced, and it was very it was saddening, but it was also hopeful at the same time.
It's sad to think that somebody would actually be going through that, but life is about valleys and peaks, and you can't appreciate the sweet smell of success unless you've been down in the dumps, so to speak.
Correct.
Right? So Marcus, go ahead and tell us what we're seeing here. I mean, this is a very, this is heart-wrenching.
Yes, so these are the ladies, the drawings, and right now I'm teaching someone basically just, draw what it is that comes to your mind and how you envision yourself while you are on drugs. And you don't have to be an expert at drawing, you don't have to be, you just draw what comes to mind, and that was the end result. I mean, they did fabulous.
So For this program, where do you hope this program goes? Oh, and this is your painting.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this. This looks very Keith Haring-esque.
Yes, absolutely. So that started off as a little doodling, as you can see towards the left on the bottom. You know, that was me as a baby, and then how I progressed throughout the years using drugs, and I drew pictures of, you know, the heroin use, the cocaine, explained a little bit of the major incidents that had happened. And, you know, just seeing that, I was like, wow, I couldn't even believe I put that together. You know what I mean? And then how inspiring it was for the ladies when I did present it to them.
And I noticed that at the beginning of the video, or at the beginning of your painting up on top,
Yes.
it says from Mad to Marcus.
Correct.
So does that depict your journey, like when you first started, that was your beginning, and this is
Correct.
where you are now?
Correct.
So you're able to see the light. That's
Absolutely.
pretty amazing. And of course, if people want some information on how they can get help and they can get the community involved, or you want FACE to come to your organization, you can go ahead and dial the local number, which is 941-803-7939. We have that down at the bottom of the screen. That's 941-803-7939, and the extension is 14403. So have you started the second group yet?
Yes, we did. I started the group August 7th. Now it's running every other Tuesday to be able to accommodate Learn to Fish. They have added more stuff on their schedule this time around. So one way or another, we're going to make it work to get to get the group out to the ladies, and so that to give new individuals that have started the Learn to Fish program an opportunity to take advantage of this program.
So that's for Learn to Fish, but have you started the one in the prison system yet? Or
Not yet. We are
Not
in
yet.
the process of that, and I'm creating a curriculum. So it has to be very precise.
Yeah, it's going to be tailored for the prison system, I would imagine.
Correct,
Yes,
correct.
okay,
But
good.
it's not only, this group has also opened up to the community. So now we also have men that are involved. So I think this is going to be a very exciting group this time.
What do you hope that people get from your program from the beginning to the end?
My expectation or my hope is just basically that they listen to the message, you know, of how important it is, you know, to get their life back on track. Because I know for me, it took me a long time to get where I'm at today. And if I know that I can do it, I know that at least one person listening to this right now on the TV or visiting my group can get the message to get their life back on track.
Now, for two people that have had experience with addiction and recovery, how does addiction or participating in the use of drugs or alcohol make you do things that you might not normally do when you're clear-headed?
So, like Marcus was sharing earlier, for me, a lot of it was the lifestyle. You get caught up. I got caught up in wanting to fit in and just the change of environment. Eventually, I crossed the line. You know, there's that clear line where it became a dependency and nothing else mattered. I believe that most people are truly good at heart. You know, and like we were talking about the stigma of people in jail, inmates, you know, not everyone intends to do these horrible things. I know for me, when it came to the drugs and my addiction, everything flew out the window, my morals, my beliefs, and it didn't matter. You know, I was chasing that high.
Yet here, two stand-up people sit in front of me, good-looking, doing things to help other people in the community and beyond. And so there is hope for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, there definitely is. We're going to go ahead and take a little break. But if you would like some information on CAN Community Health, you can call 844-922-9777, or you can visit cancommunityhealth.org. And when we come back, you will meet graduate Carissa Martinez, who shares her story through the art that she created in the FACE group. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dickie Smothers. You may know me as one of the Smothers brothers, and then again, maybe not. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you about something serious. Hepatitis C. No laughing matter. It can lead to cirrhosis of the liver, even liver cancer. Baby boomers are most at risk. You could have Hep C and not even know it. You can get tested, you can get diagnosed, and you can get treated. Hep C can now be cured.
For information, call or visit cancommunityhealth.org. Florida is #1 for beaches.
The Sunshine State also leads the nation for new HIV cases.
The opioid epidemic makes the fight against HIV and hepatitis C more challenging.
Minorities, women, young people,
And seniors are most affected by HIV.
But you can get tested.
You can get diagnosed.
And you can get treated.
CAN offers hope.
For information, call or visit us online. Welcome back, and we are now joined by Carissa Martinez. Welcome to the show, Carissa.
Thank you.
So you went through the PHASE program, that 12-week course. Tell us first a little bit about yourself and how you got into Learn to Fish recovery.
Okay. So I've struggled with addiction for probably about 10 years now. I had a really good childhood. But there was always something in my life that I was missing, a void, something I was trying to fill. And I filled that with alcohol and drugs. And I started recreationally. It led to full IV drug use when I was about 25 years old. And then from then on, my life kind of spiraled out of control. Lost jobs, family, my daughter. So it came to a point where the drugs no longer did it for me, and after losing everything, you need to seek help. And I got to a point where I needed help, so I was homeless. I called Learn to Fish one day, and they decided to let me come in to their home and program.
It looks like it's working absolutely beautifully for you, because you're just lovely. I mean, this is a real reality check from the guests that we've had on the show today, that things happen to people, and you know, it's just part of life, and you are the lucky ones that were able to pull themselves out. But for people that don't realize that there's help out there, like Learn to Fish Recovery for Women and CAN Community Health, where we test, diagnose, and treat HIV, hepatitis C, and other STDs. And we're also trying to make all of these things a normal part of the everyday conversation, so that people like you will feel comfortable reaching out and knowing that they're not being judged, and that time passes, you heal, and then you become productive and you start enjoying life again. But was it hard for you before you made that first call to see light at the end of the tunnel?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you don't see any hope, and I think that's why some people stay in their addiction for so long, because everything seems hopeless. And you don't know about the help out there, you don't know what your life could be like until you actually make that step. So that first initial step is difficult, but once you do it.
And Learn to Fish Recovery for Women has helped you tremendously, I take it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just picturing my life now, where I am and where I was 5 months ago, it's incredible. And just seeing the hope now and living a life and being happy, it's rewarding.
And your daughter?
Yes, she's back in my life right now.
That's wonderful. That's probably the biggest plus. I see the smile on your face, and that's wonderful to see somebody light up like that. So do you know how Learn to Fish gets their funding?
So Learn to Fish is a nonprofit organization. So we, our donations are solely on private donors and churches, the community.
So you guys don't get anything from the government, I take it?
No government funding.
All right, so if people want to reach out, they can reach out to Learn to Fish, which is ltfrecovery.org. They can go ahead and go to that website, ltfrecovery.org. All right, so let's talk about the PHASE program. When you first met Carissa, you met her, how did she change from your view? And then I want to hear from her.
Wow. When I first met Carissa, I remember her being a little shy, very like not knowing what to expect when she came into the program. And I remember when I used to go around the group and just kind of like introduce yourselves for the first time. And Carissa was like, yeah, I'm Carissa. She was very quiet, but I understood, sometimes people get shy to talk and, interact amongst group members.
And how is she now?
Now, wow, she has changed amazingly. Wow, and you know what? I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you. I mean, you're doing exactly what it is that you actually said in the group that you wanted to do, was to change your life 360 degrees.
Well, that's a great testimonial from Marcus on your behalf there, and obviously you're doing well. But when you first went into the program, a lot of people trying to get into a program like this are worried about the privacy thing. So did you have privacy concerns, and if so, how were those addressed?
Going into CAN, sure, I mean, when you're on the streets and you're using, there's things that you're worried about contracting, obviously, AIDS, Hep C. And I remember going to the group and I was worried, I didn't want people to know, but as soon as I got there, Marcus and the staff made me feel completely comfortable, and the privacy was not an issue. Everything was confidential and comfortable. They made me feel comfortable the entire time.
That's great. Now, how did the artwork help you to get through the program? Was that component, part of it is you get to leave there with a piece of art that depicts your life where it is now, from where you were to where it is. And for you, which one was your painting? What did you paint?
So my painting was me using IV drugs in a bathroom with the word hell on it. And that was exactly what my life was like. I was trapped in a bathroom most of my days, and it was just me and my drug of choice. And I don't know, that drawing, that was a great tool for us to express our emotions. And just seeing where I thought my life was then and where it is now, it's unbelievable.
And where is it now?
It's bright. It is no longer hell.
That's a wonderful thing. It's lovely to have people on the show that can tell you a story of where they were and where they are now, and it's a happy ending.
Yes.
And for other people that are thinking about coming into the program, what do you both have to say? We have a little bit of time, just a little bit.
Into the CAN program? Oh, I think it's a great opportunity for anyone. They've educated me on the disease itself, on treatment.
You're talking about HIV and Hep C, right?
Yes.
Hepatitis C.
So I've learned more from that program than I thought I would ever know about it. So I think it's a great opportunity for anyone.
And on that note, we're going to say thank you to Marcus Cineras for going ahead and letting us have the CAN program, the CAN Community Health Program, which is PHASE, on getting it out there to organizations. And we want to thank you for watching CAN Community Health. And remember, you can be the one to make a difference. We'll see you next time.